just want to tell you a story about our new and innovative approach to human capacity development for wealth creation in the Niger Delta region. There is a causal linkage between systematic human capacity development and wealth creation. In order for people to get wealth, you need to have the capabilities to be able to carry out your economic activities, and that requires skills and competencies that will enable you as a market player to be able to produce efficiently and then to be able to access the resources that you need for those production, and then to be able to access the market wherever that market is. So these are the linkages. Capacity and aptitude is the center point of any successful wealth creation activity. The Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta is a Nigerian non-profit organization that was established by Chevron Corporation in year 2010. And the mission is to promote inclusive and equitable economic growth and peace in the Niger Delta region through partnerships. At PiND, we work with a variety of partners across 4 interrelated program areas of economic development, peace building, capacity building, and analysis and advocacy. We designed a very new and innovative approach to human capacity development that we believe tackles the root causes of poverty in the region. We've been applying this model in our work in market systems development under our economic development program in the Niger Delta. We designed this approach that will strengthen the capacity of individuals, associations by way of non-government organizations and business membership organizations to be able to actualize this potential. We are a data-driven organization. We are evidence-led in our interventions, and we love to step back and try to understand what are the fundamental challenges, what are the root causes of poverty in the region. When we came into the region, we conducted some assessments to identify sectors with high potentials for creating jobs and increasing incomes among poor people and that have the potentials for growth. The PiND 2011 Economic Opportunities Study showed that some of these sectors were in agriculture, particularly palm oil, aquaculture, and cassava, because they have high potentials to generate income and create jobs for a significant number of the poor people in the Niger Delta. These are the sectors that we identified. And in order for us to identify entry points, what we refer to as leverage points, we needed to understand what the constraints are in these sectors. Going by the huge potentials inherent in these sectors, why are poor people engaged in these sectors not thriving? We went further and conducted a follow-on value chain study of the 3 sectors and the micro, small, and medium enterprises in 2012. The study revealed, amongst other challenges, that smallholder farmers have poor agricultural and business practices because agriculture is a business. Poor access to finance, lack of knowledge of and access to new technologies for production and processing was widespread. We also observed poor market linkages and fragmentation in the activities of various actors in the value chains, like farmers, processors, input suppliers, agro-equipment dealers, business service providers in the agricultural sector, and there was no coordination among the various actors. Sadly, all of these limit their growth potentials and keep them in a cycle of poverty. Because of the huge unemployment of up to 40% among youth in Niger Delta, in the third quarter of 2017, we recently conducted a similar study analyzing the labor market and targeting sectors with huge potentials for absorbing young people. We studied opportunities in ICT, construction and agriculture, and other emerging growth sectors, showing potential for youth employment in 3 states of the Niger Delta, which include Rivers, Abia, and Akwa Ibom. Because we are aware that not all capacity development issues can be resolved by training, we set out to address the broad range of issues that we found in the sectors. First, we identified clusters of farming associations with large numbers of farmers and mapped the support market for possible lead farmers and service providers to train farmers as champions. We engaged farmer associations, input companies, and agro-dealers to show them opportunities in the sectors and created incentives for them to work together. We took farmer associations to field excursions to see other processes, practices, and tools that they can adopt. These promoted best agronomic practices for farmers, technology-enabled method of processing, new marketing strategies for input companies, agro-dealers, and service providers. We trained lead farmers and service providers as trainers to deliver services and training to fish, cassava, and palm oil farmers. The lead farmers and service providers in turn trained farmers associations on best agricultural practices using the demonstration farm model, up to 212 demonstration farms across the Niger Delta as at 2018. We went further to use a combination of engagements, market demonstrations, and value propositions to attract agro-dealers to expand their product offerings by investing in the sale and servicing of the palm oil harvesting technologies to the technologies that are available for farmers and processors to use. Through a market system support grant scheme, we provided investment and working capital to the MSMEs and market actors. Over time, we started getting the people to think differently and to gradually change their attitude and practices. With this new approach, we were able to identify and tackle some of the systemic constraints inhibiting growth in the agriculture and MSME sectors in a sustainable manner. Our interventions in human capacity development are yielding good results in poverty reduction and wealth creation in the Niger Delta. Everyone in the system is reaping the benefit and are growing. Following our integrated capacity development effort that tackled a broad range of constraints in the 3 agricultural subsectors, 39 business and aquaculture service providers are selling their training and business advisory services to farmers and MSMEs, new business opportunities. These services didn't exist before. 75 agro-equipment dealers and fabricators are producing and selling and servicing their new efficient technology product lines to farming communities and making new sales from it. These again are new business opportunities. Over 50,000 farmers and processors are increasing productivity and having higher yields from their improved agricultural practices, access to modern inputs, business practices, information, and adoption of new technologies. So that is a major result from our work. When we started in the region, we had input providers, agro-input companies. They were active, but the sales volume were low because of poor demand. So as a result of increased knowledge, increased capacity by farmers and fish farmers in applying modern practices on their farms or their fish ponds, there's an increased demand for the products of the input companies.
We did capacity assessment of civil society organizations across the states of the Niger Delta when we started PiND in 2011. Findings showed that the organizations, they have weak processes, structures. They were not connecting with development partners because they did not have systems in place, the processes. And development partners cannot partner with organizations that have weak structures. They could not entrust resources into the hands of those organizations. The organizations were also not collaborating. Networking was very weak within the region and across the region. Information on opportunities was very, very poor. And generally, we found that the CSOs needed a lot of capacity to be built. That was the baseline in 2010, 2011, before PiND's intervention. Good governance is the hallmark of social and economic progress. Civil society organizations and business membership organizations, BMOs, their participation in governance is critical to development. We address the huge institutional and technical capacity weakness among CSOs and BMOs in the Niger Delta using a combination of approaches. We profiled and selected credible CSOs and BMOs that can serve as anchor CSOs who coordinate and align the activities of other CSO cluster members around common advocacy issues. We trained select representatives of CSOs and BMOs on key organizational development systems and operational skills, and trainees tapped down knowledge within their organizations. And we subsequently provided direct technical advisory through in-house coaches and mentors to aid learning by doing. Under our peace building program, we promote peace building and conflict mitigation as a collective responsibility requiring multiple actors at community level. We observed that not many people were, however, motivated to be peace actors in their various communities, as there were no incentives for them to promote peace. The community-based organizations similarly lacked the capacity for complete analysis and mitigation. Their peace-building activities were not coordinated, and there was low awareness and voice for CBOs and individuals promoting peace in the region. It was largely a sense of helplessness in the face of widespread violence in the region. We set to work by identifying and inspiring 120 peace actors in communities across Niger Delta. We sensitized them on how they can overcome their weaknesses to promote peace and sustain livelihoods. Building capacities, I must say, could be very, very rigorous. It goes beyond skills development, training. You have to bring in post-training support. You have to ensure that the environment to apply the skills are favorable. You have to ensure that the resources to ensure that skills are properly deployed are available. It's a full package. But at the end, when all these are done, you'll feel very happy and be well rewarded.
So what insights did we learn from all we have done in the Niger Delta? 1. The approach ensures empowered market actors are able to perform their core functions and businesses in a delicate macroeconomic environment in an effective, efficient, and sustainable manner, and also continue to improve and develop over time without dependency on donor projects or government support. Number 2, such sustainable human capacity development goes beyond skills acquisition or development. It is an evidence-driven process, not a one-off, that requires time. It is systemic rather than individualistic, and it's a bouquet of mutually reinforcing interventions. 3, this approach will ensure that economic gains occur in a systemic and an inclusive manner, which advances the population, especially youth and women, and prevent a workforce and civil society that continue to experience jobless growth and fails to advance aims targeted at strengthening institutions and tackling poverty. A number of organizations, even very local community-based organizations, can have something that is tangible and that is different to contribute to the development process. So we would like to recommend and promote the collaborative approach to development. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope we found this to be useful. Thank you once again. Thank you.